Welcome back, guys, for more Santa Lucia. So last time we finished up Brian's route up to this point, so we're gonna hop on to good old Carlos's. I don't have to do. I don't think I have to do any of the, first 8 days all over again because I pretty much focused on his options anyways. So I think I'm good there. Because I believe I chose him on the night of the first day and all that. And I think I chose him on September 8th. So I think I'm all set there. There's probably small details I missed, but honestly, if you really need to go back to those small details, I pretty much covered most of the important details, so I'm not too worried about that. Probably a line here and there, but I think I'm generally fine because, yeah, I basically picked him on the first night. Picked him for the person to ask questions way in the beginning of this whole playthrough. So let's go. So what I noticed is that going back onto the Santa Lucia page, they actually updated Carlos's route completely. So this time jump from September 20th is going to go back to September 10th. So just letting everyone know. I quickly make my way down the alley between the theater and biology buildings that Russell showed me. Stupid me lost track of time having lunch at the UC. Guess I got a little too distracted listening in on all the conversations students were having about Dr. Hernandez. She must have been really well liked, since a table of 12 girls were crying while reminiscing about her. I wish I could sympathize, but I don't think I ever felt anything for the president besides general apathy or low-key fear. I don't know what it is about her, but she gives me the creeps. It's weird to see how everyone's reacting now that she's gone. I couldn't be the only one who found her strange, right? Exiting out onto the path, I see Carlos talking to an unexpected figure with his arms folded in the middle of the way. So you'll need to set up a time to go to the courthouse. Understood. Listening in, I'm able to overhear a little of their conversation as I approach. Will they be expecting me? Of course. USL law students are often assigned court sit-ins, so you shouldn't have much issue finding one. You must be on your best behavior, though. Remember that you are representing the university while you are there. That will not be a problem. Thank you for clarifying the assignment. It's my pleasure. Now, if you excuse me, I'm running late for my next class. Sorry, I did not mean to hold you up. The Panther wastes no time and starts fast walking for the biology building. I take the opportunity to slip in. Hey, Carlos. Oh. Hello, Ben. We should start heading for lab, right? We wouldn't want to make Chris worried. Indeed. It's not like we haven't seen each other. It's not like we haven't seen each other today, but being around him again seems to put my nerves at ease, especially with how dramatic everyone's been because of the news. I try to hold it back, but my curiosity ends up getting the better of me. So, you know Sam, huh? Yes. He is the teacher's assistant for one of my law classes. Why? His response is a little abrupt, but I think I know enough about Carlos now to understand he means no harm. Oh, nothing much, really. I just know he's also part of the mentorship program. Hell, he's even the guy who personally brought my luggage to my room after my late check-in. He doesn't seem to be fazed by the information. It's possible he already knew Sam was a mentor. Uh, guess he's a bit of a workaholic, huh? Student mentor, teacher's assistant, law student. I wonder what else he does. He also works with public safety. We are co-workers there. Damn! I had no idea. Sounds really familiar, actually. Are you gonna go inside? I snap out of my momentary stupor and notice that Carlos is holding the door to the classroom open for me. Oh, yeah! Sorry. Sorry. Gosh, he's such a gentleman holding the door for little old worthless me. No, stop thinking like that, Ben. I'm trying to be the best Ben I can be. And if I keep telling myself that, I'm never going to get any better. Carlos is never going to find me attractive. As we step into the room, we see that Karina and Nate are already here. Carlos! Ben! It's good to see you too. And as usual, Chris is there to greet us with his usual high energy. And that's about it for today, I think. In one motion, Chris closes the manual in front of him. I stretch out in my chair. Can we pack our things? It is like you to be the first to leave, Panda. I can't help it if I have a life and you don't, bro. Carlos stares at him, but doesn't say anything. Jeez, cutting it a little deep there, Brian, don't you think? Guys, can we stop fighting? I know exactly who could have diffused the situation quickly. Fresh Sam isn't going to be the same without Russell here to balance it out. Not that I'm surprised he isn't here after everything that happened. Don't forget we're... Oh, wait. I'm just going to skim through this here because we already know what happens here. That will not be my problem. Carlos chimes in right after the panda leaves the room. Bye, mate. Take care. The five of us stick around a bit longer, taking our time packing our things up. I wonder what he's up to. It does not matter. Let the panda do what he wants. It does not affect us. That's surprisingly progressive of you, Carlos. Nate replies facetiously, clearly trying to make light fun of the situation. Huh? Carlos seems almost taken aback by the suggestion. I'm just kidding, darling. I'm just kidding, darling. Can't say I'm disappointed Brian won't be joining us, but at least the rest of us can make the best of it, right? That's right. Karina holds up a hand with an index finger pointing up. Even if we're new students, it's only right that we show respect for those who have passed. That's what freshman seminar is trying to teach us, right? How to be better, more worldly people. It's mostly about study skills and coursework prep. But I'm thrilled to hear that you're absorbing the social material, Karina. Thanks, Chris. I feel so much more attuned to what my role is in the world is. Ugh. With a gruff grunt, Carlos heads for the exit with his backpack wrapped over one shoulder. I'm going to the vigil. Bye, Carlos. The other three continue the conversation, almost as if Carlos wasn't there for a moment ago. I really don't want to go to this thing, but... I watch as the large tiger walks out the door. He seems like he could use someone more on his wavelength with him. I'll see you guys later. I'm going with Carlos. I wave at the rest of the group as I saunter after the tiger. See you, Ben. Take care. See you later. See you later. Bye, mate. Exiting into the hallway, I see Carlos has already put some distance between us. For a moment, I briefly reconsider what I'm about to join in on. Like Brian said, it's not like any of us knew Dr. Hernandez. The dead person really gonna care if we show up to some event honoring them? I shake my head. It's not about the deceased. It's about the people left behind. And for some reason, I get the feeling Carlos is someone who needs a friend right now. I finally managed to catch up with him right outside the building. Carlos, wait up! Ben? Folds his arms and faces me. I figured you could use some company. You did? He stares down at me with an expression I'm not able to read. I mean, I guess I could go the other way to the vigil if you'd prefer. No, do not do that. This is fine. A brief smile flashes across his face, before he turns away and continues walking down the path. Just gonna move along without warning me ahead of time? I increase my pace to keep up with him. Sorry, I thought you would follow. Well, sure, but could you slow down a little so I'm not running out of breath? Can't you? Wait. Well, sure, but you could slow down a little so I'm not running out of breath, can't you? Seems to listen, dropping his pace to match mine. I pull on the straps of my backpack to readjust it. Yeesh, you've always got somewhere you need to be, huh? Doesn't say anything in response. Man, I wish you could just... I wish you would stop and smell the roses sometimes. Everything has to be at 1,000 miles per hour, you know. I look over at him with a smile so he knows I'm not mad or anything. You sound like Karina. Next you're gonna tell me to look at where we are. Exactly, we're at USL, one of the top universities in the country. Sure, expectations are high, but if you're not taking everything in, the whole experience will pass you by quicker than you expect. And what experience are you talking about? Fraternities, parties, anonymous intercourse. He lists off things with increasing venom. It kind of puts me in a corner where I don't know how to respond. I will focus on my studies. He breaks away from me, leaving me behind as he turns onto the main path. Oh, lovely. I hate to break it to you all, but lawns are being mowed right now, so I apologize in advance. Because lawnmower is allowed and I do not have a pop filter. Sorry. I jog a couple of paces to catch back up with him. Okay, jeez. Didn't think that would piss you off. He lets out a deep sigh and rubs his forehead. I'm not pissed. I just do not want to get involved in stereotypical student behavior. I can see that, yeah. That's probably why him and Brian tend to clash all the time. One is all about campus lifestyle, while the other... Well, let's just say he acts way older than he is. At this point, I notice we're walking right past the school theater. I tug on the side of his shirt to slow him down. Hold up, Carlos. What is it? It's pretty clear you haven't experimented much with shortcuts. I'm not a cheater. That's not what I'm getting at. I meant like shortcuts. Ugh. Ben, I do not take drugs. Gah! Not wanting this awkward miscommunication to continue, I hold out a finger and point it towards the alley between the theater and neighboring biology building. I'm talking about that over there. We're heading for Arcadia Field, right? That is correct. There's a shortcut down an alley over here we can take. Oh. I see. Ding ding ding. Seems like the point has finally registered. I'm sorry for not understanding. That's okay, Carlos. Try not to assume the worst possible intentions from what I'm saying, alright? I wait for him to follow me. This time I'm the one leading the way. He has to keep up with me. I don't make it very far before I spot a familiar red-headed figure standing with his back against the wall of the theater's alley. He lets out a puff of smoke from his mouth. Shit, I didn't see him there earlier. He seems to be aware of us, though, since he's deliberately trying to avoid it, making eye contact with me. I pause for a moment. What's wrong? I feel my stomach churn as Russell steps off from the wall, quickly makes his way towards the marketplace. At least the alleyway is clear now. Carlos seems to finally pick up on what's going on. Was that Russell? Yeah, it was. He stands there next to me, probably gauging my next move. I am sorry you have to go through this. I sympathize. Thanks, but I want to say how he couldn't understand what I'm feeling right now. But he's offering a shoulder to lean on in the only way he knows how. Thanks. It's best to put it behind you. Dwelling on what could have been will only hold you back. I roll my eyes and smirk. Yeah, I get it, big bro. He's really taken aback by what I just called him. Why, you don't like me calling you big bro? I did not expect it. Can't help it when you're always looking out for my safety. You know, like a big brother would. Give him a light nudge on the shoulder. Relax, it's a compliment. It must be in your blood or something, right? It's been a while since I was called Big Bro. I like it. I feel a strange flutter in my stomach from the way he responded. You do? He nods his head. Well then, I'll be sure to call you that more often. No need to overdo it. There was a faint red color shining through beneath his cheek fur. I'll do my best. He's definitely blushing. Ugh, he's so cute. Just have to say it one more time. Big bro. When we reach the other side of the alley, I'm able to see a growing crowd of people near the center of the field. When I passed through before lab, they were still setting things up. Carlos stands beside me with his arms folded. You think the others are going to make it in time? It does not matter. If they're going to treat this like a party, then I'd rather not be with them. Oof, that was harsh. The tiger starts making his way across the field to join the crowd. But yeah, I think I see where you're coming from. I'll admit, it doesn't seem like the others have much of a grasp what happened to Dr. Hernandez. Nate seems to think this is an opportunity for a social gathering, while Karina seems more like the type who wants to make sure her presence is noticed. As for Chris, well, I don't really know what to think about him anymore, especially after what I caught him doing with Shay that night. Wait up! Carlos and I stand together at the far end of the crowd, just in time for someone at the podium to begin a speech. The professor gave a teary, heartfelt send-off to her boss. If I'm being honest, though, I kind of spaced out halfway through. She went into a lot of details that simply weren't relevant to me. I'm only here because I wanted to give Carlos company. Right? Yeah, that's all I wanted to do. There's no ulterior motive here. Is everything okay, Ben? Huh? Yeah, why? You were staring at me. Oh, sorry. I look around for a quick excuse out of this. I was just thinking about going over there. Follows where my finger is pointing. The balloons? Yeah! Looks like they're handing them out, so we can let them go at the same time. What was that supposed to represent? Shrug my shoulders. Hell if I know. It's out a long sigh, probably assuming I'm not going to take no for an answer. It's not something... Is it not something usually done for these things? It depends on who is running them. Makes sense, I guess. Near a collection of portraits of the late president, there's a large display filled with small candles. Students and professors file one by one, and each light a different candle. Is that more your style, maybe? It is what I'm used to, yes. Without allowing me to question him further, he jumps in line for the candles. Touchy subject, huh? Looking over at the balloons again, I see that's where Karina and the others ended up going. I hope he's not in line so he can avoid them. When we reach the front of the line, I realize just how imposing that hall that shall never be named looks as it looms over us. Carlos steps forward to light a candle. As for me, I can't help but be distracted by the building. How much it creeps me out. I crank my head to the side when I notice something funny. There's a figure watching us from one of the windows on the upper floors. I don't think the students are allowed up there. Hell, I don't even think professors are allowed up there either. Squinting my eyes, I'm able to make out some details. Kind of look like... I shake my head. Just like that, the figure is gone. Ben? Yeah? It is your turn. Oh, okay. Step forward and follow Carlos's instructions with the candle. Weird tingle runs down my spine. I'm pretty sure it's just another one of my hallucinations. There's no way. That was a beautiful little ceremony, don't you think? Oh, it absolutely was. After the vigil, we all decided to head to the UC together to regroup. She was a wonderful person. I really wish you guys had a chance to meet her. I slightly shrug my shoulders and take a bite out of my slice of pie. Carlos sits beside me, thumbing through his phone. Hey, aren't you gonna eat that stuff? I point out the odd cinnamon-covered concoction he has in front of him. I will. What did you say that stuff was called again? Oh God. Oh God. I'm too basic. Anyways, sorry. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce it. Sorry. I just know con leche or something. Leche or something, but I don't even know how to pronounce the first one, so I'm not even gonna bother. Sorry. It translates roughly to rice pudding. My mother used to make the best. I'm surprised they offer it here. Can I try? He hesitates. The other three continue their conversation about the vigil without us. I suppose I do not mind. He scoots the bowl over to me. Enjoy. I'll use my own spoon. Wow. He's demonstrating a lot of trust in me. Not gonna lie, it's making me feel really excited. I don't want to make him too uncomfortable though, so using my own spoon is probably the least I can do. I take a small bit and taste it. So, I savor the flavor for a few seconds longer before responding. That's really freaking good. I am glad you like it. I'm gonna have to get a bowl of it myself next time I'm here. I can help you order it. My heart skips a beat. It almost sounds like he's offering a date. Because the menu is in Spanish. Do not look at me like that. Sorry. I poke at the pie with my fork. I guess I didn't expect that kind of offer coming from you. Wait, what? Oh, I just want to make sure. Howdy, everyone. Fancy running into y'all like at this time. Oh, hey, Shay. Karina's roommate swoops in from seemingly out of nowhere. I thought I saw you at the vigil, Karina. Yeah, we were all there. She clearly doesn't want to be dealing with Shay right now. It's great to see everyone coming together after such a tragedy. I agree. Chris finally chimes in. The moment we've all been waiting for. I think Dr. Hernandez would have appreciated the outpouring of love we've shown the past couple of days. I wish I could have met her. I'd love to tell you about her. All you have to do is ask. I'll be sure to do that sometime. It was good seeing y'all. She waves to us before stepping away. I'm on the way to the library. Gotta study for an upcoming chemistry exam. I narrow my eyes at her as she leaves. I have a feeling she's gonna... Yep, there it is. She just winked at Chris. Well, I think it's about time I head out as well. He hastily gathers his things and flaps his backpack over his shoulder. I've got a lot of things to plan for next lab session. See you later, darling. Nate fans his fingers at our mentor. Bye, Chris. Man, they don't suspect a thing, huh? I guess it's different for me since I knew what to look out for. Have fun, man. I give him a thumbs up. It's not really my place to judge. If he thinks it's worth the risk, then more power to him. Goodbye. I'm gonna be the one to blow his big... I'm not gonna be the one to blow his big secret. I'm not that big of a shithead. I think it's time for me to go too, my lovelies. The drama class is having a meeting in half an hour, and I don't want to be late. Alright. He gets up from his seat with a dramatic flourish. Later. I wave goodbye to him as he heads in the opposite direction of Shay and Chris. I turn my attention back to Carlos, who seems relatively unfazed by everything that just happened. Instead, he seems to be savoring every last spoonful of his pudding. Can't help but smile. He's super cute when he's enjoying something. I end up glancing over at Karina, who's also smiling. She leans forward, resting her elbows on the table. That's so funny. Now that I'm thinking about it, she might be smiling at me for some reason? Ugh, don't look at me like that. Oh, it's nothing. We can talk about it later. Ugh, what do you have to make it sound so ominous? Hey guys, I hope you didn't miss anything. I hope I didn't miss anything important. In an instant, Brian swoops into the seat and was occupied by Nate, not even 3 minutes earlier. Ugh. Carlos puts a spoon down and looks away from the rest of us. Not really. The vigil was nice, but there's only so much you can feel for someone you didn't know. See, that's what I was saying earlier. You could at least pretend to care about the deceased. Brian puts his hands up and shrugs. I'll swing by and leave a rose or something later. Man, why are you making such a big deal out of this? It's about respect. Brian makes an exaggerated eye roll. Why don't you tell us why don't you tell us what you were up to instead? You really want to know? Huh? All the spicy details, the nitty-gritty. Are you sure you can handle the truth? My eyes widen. Maybe that was a mistake to ask. Damn, Ben, you should see your face. What? Stop making fun of him and tell your story, Panda. Brian cuts his laughter short and gives the tiger a quick glare. Alright. Yeesh. Who pissed in your Cheerios? Killjoy. Well, if you have to know. It's rush week for the fraternities. I went with my friend Diego to check him out. Oh, okay. I think I remember him talking about this some time ago. That was a lot of build-up for nothing. I really had you going there, though. Really? You skipped out on the vigil for that? I didn't think it was gonna be that big of a problem. It's not. It's just a little self-centered, maybe. If I'm self-centered, then what about all the other guys and gals that were there? They were selfish, too. Carlos interjects with force. Dude. It's okay, Carlos. It really wasn't that big of a deal. I'm tempted to put a hand on his shoulder, but somehow I don't think he'd appreciate it. I think groups like that are a bad influence. You're gonna get involved in bad things, Brian. For once in your life, can you give a damn about your safety? Look, dude, I can take care of myself. I don't need you looking out for me, alright? Of course you don't get it. I raise an eyebrow. That's the most forward Carlos has ever been about his reasoning with Brian. I wonder where this is coming from. Carlos, is there something more you want to say? He mumbles something under his breath. Carlos, I know you don't like me and all, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. You really need to lighten up. I think you'd have a lot more fun in college if you had less of a stick up your ass. Carlos looks across the table. There's a faint red hue under his cheek fur, but he doesn't look particularly angry this time. Can you not phrase it like that? Ah, that's right. Internalized homophobia. I almost forgot about that shit. Yeah, no, I did add that. I'm not homo. Before Carlos has the time to finish responding, Brian slides what looks like a brochure across the to the tiger. Across the table to the tiger. By the way, there was a fraternity that I thought you might be interested in. What? Why would I be interested in a fraternity? Because this one is full of pre-law students like you. To my surprise, it seems to intrigue Carlos. He picks up the brochure and gives it a quick look. Alright guys, I can't stay much longer. I'm meeting up with a friend for some, well, let's just say I'm going to have a lot of fun tonight. This time I'm the one who rolls my eyes. Oh, brother. Do we really need to have a play-by-play of your sex life, bub? Even Karina seems to be at the end of her patience. Sorry, I'll be quiet now. He gets up from his seat real quick to avoid Karina nudging his shoulder with her fist. See you all later. Take care. Bye, Brian. The only one who doesn't say anything is... Are you okay, Carlos? Yes. Look over his shoulder. He's really focused on that brochure. Are you thinking about joining them? No. Never. I'm just seeing what they have to offer. That is all. Karina leans forward at the table. It's interesting that Brian thought enough about you to save that brochure. That's true. The tiger looks dumbfounded at what we're suggesting. I guess he thinks of you more as a friend than you thought, huh? Brian and I are not friends. How long are you going to keep lying to yourself about it? The red hue returns. Him and I are too different. Whatever you say, Carlos. Carlos stands up from the table and swings his backpack over his shoulder. But not before stuffing the brochure in one of his bag's flaps. I'm leaving too. What? Already? It is getting late. I have homework to do. His response gets me to check my phone. Yeah, you're right. Damn, it's already after 6 p.m. Where'd the time go? Goodbye, Carlos. See you later, man. Bye. I watch as he turns a corner heading in the direction of the library. Suddenly feels a lot lonelier here without him. So, I snap out of it when she balls her hands and rests her chin on them while leaning forward over the table. Have anything to say for yourself, Benny boy? What? I look at her dumbfounded. She's giving me that same look from earlier. What are you talking about? Don't be coy with me. You have the hots for Carlos, don't you? Gah! I nearly fall out of my seat. What? Are you kidding? Me? Interested in Carlos? You must be going crazy or something. Don't lie, bub. It was written all over your face when he left. She makes wide puppy dog eyes while glancing longingly towards the exit. Please don't leave me with this woman, Carlos. I need a big, strong, manly man to keep me company. Ugh! Stop being so loud! You're drawing attention to us. Alright, sheesh. Ugh. Let out a long sigh. That obvious, huh? Like an open book, dude. Oh, fuck me. I rub my forehead. She can't be serious, right? I'm not sure being forward like that is gonna help you get in his pants. But go ahead. Practice anyways. Practice away. That's not what I meant! God! Ugh, she's really being a handful right now. Reminds me of how she used to be back in junior high. Also, I'm drinking water, so sorry for that, that bottle falling. Oops. You never make things easy for me, you know? What good is a best friend if she can't tease you from time to time about your love life? Fold my arms and lean back in my chair. It's not a big deal, I just... gotta think through my words carefully so they don't come back to haunt me down the line. Yeah, I guess I kind of have a thing for him right now. That's so cute. Oh my god! I would never have expected you to go for the chubby stoic type. It's not a type I'm into, Karina. I just really like him, okay? At this point, I'm staring out the window, trying to avoid eye contact with her. I'm sure my face is scarlet red beneath the fur. You're not gonna tell anyone about this, right? Your secret's safe with me. I mean, I haven't even mentioned your sexuality to anyone, right? You can trust me with this. I mean it. You can't even tell Ahmed. Oh. She suddenly goes quiet. Karina! Ugh! Relax, it's not what you think. Him and I kind of broke up last night. You're kidding. I raised an eyebrow at her. And after that whole spiel about him being the one... Stop trying to change the subject. We're talking about your love life, not mine. She gets really fiery all of a sudden. Yes, you can dish it out, but you can't take teasing in return, huh? Fine, whatever. I grab my soda and take a long gulp. It's not like anything's gonna happen between me and Carlos anyway. He's straight. That's true. She pokes at the remains of her salad with a fork. Sorry, I didn't mean to push you. It's fine. It's not like I can keep anything from you. I'm gonna quickly break the fourth wall and vent, but wow, that lawnmower is loud. Welcome to summer, everyone. Anyways, let's continue. I feel a really odd feeling in my stomach right now. Thankfully, Karina lets the topic drop. We spent a little longer in the cafeteria before we decided we're gonna head back to the dorms. I finish off the rest of my soda and put the cup down. If it's that obvious to Karina that I'm into Carlos, then who else may have noticed? What if Carlos realizes it? I wish I could make sense of what I'm feeling right now. Part of me is terrified of how he'll respond, but there's another part of me that hopes maybe, just maybe, he feels the same way about me. Benny boy, Benny boy. I'm kidding. The lock clicks as it gives way to the key inside. A warm, stuffy draft blows out from inside the room. Home sweet home. I step inside the dark room, not bothering to turn on the lights. Instead, I swing open the curtains and crack the window just a bit. It might be hot outside, but this room needs airing out badly. I run my fingers through my hair and take a long look around me. As expected, Zach hasn't made it back from class yet. Which was it again? Biochemistry, biophysics? Oh well, it was something like that. It really doesn't matter. I'm sure he doesn't remember exactly what my classes are either. Anyway, got the rest of the day free since I don't have a mountain of homework due Thursday for once. Well, nothing that can't be crammed in before midnight, at least. Time to relax. Toss my bag onto the ground next to my desk and open my laptop. Time to do what I do best. Goofing off on the internet. As I lean back in my chair, I notice my backpack toppled over and spilled its contents onto the floor. I normally wouldn't mind too much, but it's kinda encroaching on Zach's space. He actually cleaned his side of the room for once, too. With a sigh, I get up from my chair and stuff the books back inside the open maw of the bag. Alright, now it's time to procrastinate. Wait, something's not right. Can't quite put my finger on it, though. My feline instincts are on high alert, and before long my brain catches up. Something's missing. Where the hell is my Fresh Sun textbook? Pretty sure I had it with me. Shit. Did I drop it somewhere? My heart starts thumping faster. Calm down, Ben. It's nothing to panic over. You didn't lose it, you just forgot it somewhere. Yeah, that must be it. I probably left it in one of my drawers like a dumbass. I rake my fingers through my hair. I've torn my side of the room apart by this point, meticulously looking everywhere for a missing book. Unfortunately, luck isn't on my side, and the wayward textbook doesn't pop up. You idiot! How could you lose a whole entire frickin' textbook? Think! Who was I sitting next to in lecture this morning? Wasn't it Carlos? I'll give him a call. Maybe he has it for something. Pull out my phone, I'm about to call him, then I realize what I'm about to do. Oh man. I can feel a cold sweat. Am I really ready for this? This is the first time I ever called his number. God. The first time is gonna be over something stupid like this. I can already hear him scold me. Ben, you need to be more serious about your studies. Losing your textbook is a grave mistake. Keep mine by my bedside every night, and so should you. Ugh. Well, it's my only lifeline right now. I punch in his number and wait for him to pick up. baritone voice suddenly comes alive on the other end of the line. Carlos Delgado. Carlos! It's Ben, I just need to... A loud beep rings in my ear. Huh? Oh, wait. Is this his voicemail? Shit! Hang up. Who sets up their voicemail like that? What is he, 80 years old? I thought he picked up the phone for real. Ugh. Never mind. Guess I can try some of the others. Okay, gotcha. It was worth a try at least. Thanks anyway. I hang up, defeated. Nobody's come across my textbook. Not even Chris. Though I'm not really sure what he was paying attention. Could have sworn I heard a girl giggle on the other end behind him. Seems like things are going all well with him and Shay. Guess I can officially file this as a missing bookcase. Pull out my chair again, wake my laptop up. My fingers quickly fly on the keyboard as I type in the address of the school's website. I'm sure there's a section on it for absent-minded students like me. In a small facts section, I find info on what to do when you've lost something in class. Seems like my best bet is to go see Dr. Shannon. But I don't know where her office is. Damn, this site was always a pain in the ass to navigate too. Maybe it'll be easier to just run down to the information center at the UC. I'm gonna be real with you. That's so true, at least from my experience. Granted, I didn't go to a prestigious school. I just went to a state school, and a small one at that. But oh my god, their website was so bad. Especially if you wanted to like access if you wanted to access your classes for any reason, or look up your credit, the amount of credits you had, or your grades, etc., etc. It was always a pain. I hated it. Ugh, no, I feel that so much. I've dealt with bad state college websites before. I know this is a private college, but I guess it's all the same, really. I guess it's kind of what I kind of like about playing this game too, honestly, is just, I guess now that my college years are kind of behind me, at least for now, I kind of reflect on those things. And even if I do go back to college to get like my master's or whatever, I mean, it's not going to be the same as being like 18, 19, like going to college, 18 to 22 going to college, It's just going to be, I'm going to have my own life by then and everything, but nevertheless, I feel nostalgic for being 18 to 22 again with this college stuff. I mean, it's not like college was that long ago for me, but I don't know. I just kind of like picking out like the relatable stuff, It's only been 3 years, but it feels like an eternity for me. Anyways, enough about myself. Let's actually continue. At least I won't have to tell Carlos about this. The last thing I need is for him to think I'm more of an airhead than I already am. Ben! Duh! Zach, you scared me! Sorry. Are you heading out? Yeah. I rub behind my head and look up the hall. I've got some errands I need to run. Put my hand on his shoulder. Huh? Put on a stoic face. Take care of the place while I'm gone, alright? Huh? Just kidding. I'll be back soon, I promise. Okay. We slip past each other, and I start making my way down the hall. After a short jog, I find myself walking into the UC. Good thing it's breezy today, because without it, the heat would have been unbearable. So true. You never forget, like, first month heat of, like, your fall semester. Ugh. Sorry, as you can tell, like, I guess because of this, I can already tell that Carlos's route is going to be less, like, sex-driven and, like, and I feel like, and also just less, like, about things I can't relate to. Like, I love Brian's route, but I feel like, obviously, the stuff that happened there is a little less relatable. Um, as I obviously didn't, like, go to a fraternity. There were no fraternities in my college. Because it was so small, you know? And I obviously didn't have, like, some big jock hanging out with me, you know? So, but I don't know, I guess now that we're, like, you know, a little bit more down to earth with, like, Carlos, I kind of feel like I'm going to relate to this route a bit more. Even the small stuff, too. I don't know. I'm just weird like that, I guess. Once inside, I navigate around the cafeteria to the administrative section on the other end of the building. Looks like a lot of students are just barely getting dinner for the evening. It's nice and cool in here. God bless air conditioning. Yeah, air conditioning. What even is that? I take a minute to get my bearings before approaching the information center in the back of the main hall. Speaking of air conditioning, okay, this is my last tangent, and I will continue this game because I like this game, but man, I'm getting really nostalgic for college all of a sudden, or university if you're not from the U.S. Sorry, 4-year university. There we go. But now, like, my freaking university freshman year, you had, like, because it was like a newer building, it had, like, it was basically a treat. You know, you had the air conditioning. Like, if you know your room was too hot because there was only an open window, you could, like, go out into, like, the, you know, common room area and just enjoy the air conditioned room. But then after that was all stripped away from me. And once you became a sophomore in college, all of a sudden it's like, no, here's these older buildings and no air conditioning, no, like, you know, no, like, updated anything. Freshmen got all the updated stuff. After freshman year, you go back to, like, the style of rooms that they haven't changed since, like, 1990, you know? It was pretty insane. But anyway, sorry, I'm just gonna go back. I knock on the already open door, then enter. There's 2 people manning the counter. A gazelle sits at the computer typing away, while a bigger guy behind her files documents in a cabinet with his back turned to me. That's a familiar silhouette. The gazelle greets me with a smile before turning to the other guy. Carlos, would you mind taking care of the student here? I need to send this information to Anne. Of course. He turns around to face me. Hello, how can I help? He stops dead in his tracks when he realizes who he's talking to. Ben. He says my name in an even more deadpan way than usual. If that's even possible. Hey! Funny running into you here. Are you following me? What? No, don't be absurd. How do you keep running into me at every place I work? Scratch behind my ear and smile. Would you believe me if I told you this time's purely a coincidence? How the hell is this even possible? I'm pretty sure none of the others are even aware Carlos has on-campus jobs. And just how many jobs is he working exactly? The classic Carlos grunt. Is he debating what to do? I assure you, I'm not doing this on purpose. It's just bad luck, I guess. Or maybe good luck. Karina would probably call this fate or something. She would indeed. Well then, why are you here? Suddenly remember why I came here in the first place. Crap, it's definitely bad luck. Jeez, and here I was thinking I could avoid a Carlos lecture. Well, you see, we had fresh some earlier today, and, well, He raises an eyebrow. Well, I kinda, sorta... Oh boy, here it comes. Lost my textbook. He stares down at me incredulously. Yep, he definitely thinks I'm a lost cause. Way to impress your crush, Ben. I see. Any second now. You should be more careful with your belongings. Yeah, I know. 3, 2, 1. What is it you need me to do? Huh? Lecture I braced for doesn't come. Is that really all you have to say? I am at work, Ben. I do not have time to waste telling you something you should already know. Ouch! Besides, telling you what you did wrong will not solve the problem. That's surprisingly thoughtful of him. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I just need to know where Dr. Shan's office is. I tried looking it up online, but the website kind of sucks. The information center is the next best thing, right? Let me check. He walks over to the other side of the counter and sits at the second computer. I notice him frowning slightly as he focuses on what he's typing. After a moment, he gets back up and notes something down on a post-it in front of him. And this is her address. She has a personal office behind the... Alright, let me see here. Let me see if I poorly pronounce this. Bavarian Gardens. Bavarian. Is it Bavarian or Bavarian? I don't freaking know. I'm bad at pronunciations. I'm sorry. The Bavarian Gardens, huh? I've been meaning to give that place a look. Isn't she a professor of biology, though? He finished writing down the address and hands the note to me. She is also the dean of the Agriculture and Sustainability Department. Huh. I think I remember hearing about that somewhere. It's a mouthful, though, so I'm not surprised she doesn't go around announcing herself as that. I guess that makes sense. Thanks for your help, Carlos. And don't worry, I won't tell the others about you working here. Thank you. Good luck finding your textbook, Ben. I exit the office and check my phone. It's almost 5:30 p.m. Hopefully she hasn't left campus by now. I make my way to the Bavarian Gardens, trying my best to stick to the shade. Not gonna lie. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm full of tangents today, aren't I? When I'm listening to, like, this synthesizer go off, I'm all of a sudden, like, being reminded of Sufjan Stevens' The Ascension. But anyways, let's continue. The gardens are such a maze. I checked the note Carlos gave me again. Seems he knew ahead of time how confusing this was gonna be. He left detailed directions on how to get there. I can't help but smile. What a great big bro I have. There's something about this place that makes me feel strange. The verdant nature gives off a sense of peace and quiet. At the same time, though, there's something slightly off about it. Maybe it's how organized and meticulous it is. It's not natural, so to speak, and you can tell there's a team managing it. Regardless, the place is still beautiful. The smell of various plants and flowers mixing together is almost intoxicating. I can see how someone could get lost here, willingly or unwillingly. I should be getting close. I make one last turn and find myself in front of a building that looks older than the rest. A plaque next to the front door reads, Department of Agriculture and Sustainability. Guess it's the place, huh? I prepare to step inside where something catches my eye, deeper in the gardens. A woman wearing a stark white lab coat is standing in the middle of a greenhouse, looking at me. Isn't that Dr. Shannon? Has she been standing there staring at me this whole time? A chill runs down my spine. Well, if she's over there, then there's no point in going inside the main building. I make my way towards the greenhouse, keeping an eye on the doctor as she watches my every move. As I get closer, though, I'm able to make out more details. She's hunched in front of a table that's facing me, but she's clearly looking down at the plant in front of her. And not at me. I breathe a sigh of relief. Phew. Obviously she's tending to the plants, you self-centered freak. I walk around the door and knock. A few seconds later, a familiar voice replies. Come in, Mr. Rivers. I take the invitation and open the door. Almost immediately, an unpleasant and humid warmth washes over me. I try my best to ignore it and greet the doctor as politely as I can muster. Hello again, Professor. She raises a hand to her lips while turning around, almost as if she's telling me to be quiet. Her lab's coattails flutter as she returns her attention back to the plant on the table. With another motion of her hand, she invites me to take a closer look. Confused, I take a few steps forward and observe the specimen in front of her. I don't think I've ever seen a plant like this before. A long, thin tube raises itself from the soil inside the pot, growing wider as it goes, ending in a big oval-shaped hood. It's almost shaped like a pitcher. What the heck kind of plant is this? It's fascinating, isn't it? This is a Darlingtonia californica. I hope I'm pronouncing these right. I'm stupid. Bye. Fascinating isn't the word I use to describe it. It's a bit of a mouthful, though, so I prefer calling it a cobra plant. She turns to face me again. It does look like that one. It does look like one after all, don't you think? It takes me a while to understand what she means, but with a little squinting I can sort of see the resemblance. The long thin stem, the feather-like hood. Somehow that manages to make me even more uneasy. Dr. Shan continues her explanation. They're extremely rare. You can only find them here in Northern California as well as some parts of Oregon. They're quite finicky plants. She speaks in a very soothing tone, different from the one she usually uses in classes. Isn't she beautiful? I nod fervently, not quite sure what to say. The professor chuckles. I've been incredibly lucky to have this one brought here for me to study. They usually don't like the heat, you see. Yet somehow, this one has been doing remarkably well. I've only had to feed it once or twice since I got it. Can't help but repeat a key word that stuck out in that sentence. Feed? Dr. Shannon chuckles again and nods her head. Oh yes, feed. This beauty is a carnivorous plant, not unlike a Venus flytrap. They ensnare their prey with their bright colors and sweet-smelling nectar. The prey then finds themselves trapped inside the pitcher, unable to escape. And just like that, she gently caresses the side of the stem as she talks. The cobra plant consumes them for every single drop. And she enunciates the words. I swear the plant almost shudders. Is it digesting something right now? Don't worry, they don't need to be fed very often. A single big fly is usually enough to satisfy one of this size for a year or more. I don't know why she thinks I'm worried about it. I suppose the idea of ending up in a dark place that is slowly being... Oh, wait. I suppose the idea of ending up in a dark place like that, slowly being digested over a year, that's pretty nightmarish. Dr. Shannon stands upright and walks away as if nothing happened. Come with me into my office, Mr. Rivers. Her demeanor is completely different now. That's a lot like Dr. Shannon I know. Plants really are her passion, huh? I follow her out of the greenhouse and inside the building from earlier. Down a couple of bends, she invites me into a room by holding the door open for me. She steps behind her desk and opens her drawer. I assume you're looking for this, right? She slides a very familiar book to me across the desk. That's definitely mine. I recognize that little notch in the hardcover there. Yeah, I am. I was pretty sure I lost it. You would have if I hadn't found it on your desk after you left this morning. I'm just knocking things out of the park today, aren't I? Everyone's gonna think I'm Airhead Ben who forgets everything. I'm sorry. I never had anything like this happen to me before. It's alright, don't worry. It happens a lot more than you think, especially to new students. I was planning to give it back to you during our next session, but I'm pleased you took the initiative to come here yourself. That's really nice of her, actually. I took the book and shoved it in my bag, making sure to secure it well. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you very much for keeping it safe. Yeah. I won't bother you much longer. If you'll excuse me, Is everything okay, Mr. Rivers? I'm taken aback by the unexpected question. Excuse me? I'm asking if everything has been going well for you these past 2 weeks. With her head tilted down, she stares at me from over the top of her glasses. I'm not quite sure what to say. The first month is always the hardest for the new students, and with what happened to Dr. Hernandez, I want to make sure all my students are doing well. Oh, that makes sense, I guess. I'm doing fine, all things considered. Thank you for asking. I don't think I want to delve too deep into my hallucinations with my professor. That's great to hear. If you ever need me, if you ever need to talk to someone about anything, my door is always open. I appreciate it. Man, I think I'm starting to see why she's considered everyone's favorite professor. I should probably head back before it gets too late. Of course. She stands back up and walks around to the other side of her desk. Thank you again, Dr. Shannon. I'm halfway out the door and waving at her. It was a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Rivers. Please promise me you'll never lose your textbook again. I might not be able to find it next time. I can feel my face getting red. I won't, I promise. She chuckles again before the door finally closes behind me. I backtrack my way out of the building and return to the sweltering evening heat outside. I'm not quite sure how to feel right now. I decided to take a detour on the way back. Can't say if I had quite the peaceful evening I was hoping for. Maybe a nice stroll around campus will help ease my mind a little. I haven't really taken the time to appreciate just how beautiful everything is. It's also orderly and clean. The trees are neatly trimmed, the grass is freshly cut, the pathways are spotless. Even the buildings don't look their age. This place really is a marvel to behold. I guess the recent events have made it hard to just sit down and take in. I find a nice bench close to the psychology building and take a seat. There's barely anyone in this part of campus at this hour. Just me and the birds chirping in a duet, with the wind blowing through the leaves. The afternoon glow bathes the campus in a warm and red light. The clear blue sky gives way to shades of purple as the sun prepares to disappear beneath the ocean. Fragments of clouds dot the otherwise perfect horizon, rolling on by the destinations unknown. I close my eyes and breathe in. I feel alive. I like this for a moment, but it feels longer in my head. I stay like this for a moment, but it feels longer in my head. Eventually, I open my eyes once more to the world. My reverie ends as quickly as it began when I spot a familiar form walking down the main path a few yards from me. My heart jumps in my chest when I realize who it is. I guess his shift is over, huh? I know I probably should leave him be, but I already know I won't. I saunter after the tiger, coming up with excuses in my mind as I go. Hey, Carlos. He turns around with an expected frown on his face. Ben. I catch up to him, still undecided on what to say exactly. Probably should have given this more thought, huh? You are definitely following me. My eyes widen. I can't exactly blame him for thinking that. How many more times are we going to conveniently run into each other today? I need to think of something fast. No, not at all. I was coming back from Dr. Shannon's office, and her office is on the other side of campus. He raises an eyebrow, clearly unconvinced. Let me finish, please. I'm just taking a walk, and since it started to cool down. I just happened to see you walking by, that's all. Do you really think I'm stalking you? I try to put on my best kitten eyes I can. He glares at me for a few seconds. Then relents. No, you're not the type. You're too loud for that. Hey! I resent that remark. I notice a stiff smile that has formed on his lips. Huh. I guess this is his way of teasing me. My chest flutters at the thought. Did you buy a new textbook? Actually, she found the one I lost. She said I left it behind in the lecture hall. I can tell by my expression he's a little confused. Dr. Shannon had your textbook? Yeah. Why? Is that weird? He massages the back of his neck before continuing. She left the hall after class before us, though. Huh. That's right. Maybe she came back after we were gone? Perhaps. Well, it's a good thing she did, in any case. Indeed. I come up with a new topic that's less comfortable to think about. You're out pretty late yourself. Shouldn't you be at the dorms by now? Takes a second to think. I hope I didn't barge on something personal. I'm going to the chapel. Oh, I guess it probably is personal. I see. Well, I don't want to intrude. It's fine. He cuts me off. It is nothing private. He looks away for a second, almost as if he's ashamed. I'm going to light a candle at the chapel. Oh? It is for Dr. Hernandez. I'm sorry. I didn't think about that. Well, I'm at a loss for words. Or rather, I have too many questions burning inside, all seemingly more impolite and rude than the last. I didn't know you knew her personally. I didn't think her death affected you so much, and so on. And it was just a habit. Huh? Is it like a Catholic thing to do or something? I can't say I know much about religious practices. He takes a moment to ponder, scratching his chin. I'm not sure. It's something my mother taught me and my siblings when we were young. When my uncle passed away, and later my grandmother passed too. I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you, but it was a long time ago. I try to light a candle for the deceased when I can. That's a surprisingly thoughtful gesture. It's not like he knew it's not like he knew Hernandez any more than I did myself. I noticed we were pretty close to the chapel by now. Would you mind if I lit the candle with you? He stops dead in his tracks. Guess he really didn't expect that from me. I did not know you were religious. I'm not, but I guess it'd feel right to do so right now. It's not something I would have done on my own, that's for sure. With Carlos? He's obviously considering it, but I can't tell if he likes the idea or not. Alright. It is not my place to stop you if you wish to do so. That's as non-committal of an answer as I expected to receive. But when he turns around and opens the chapel door, I notice a faint smile as he fails to hide. I follow him inside the chapel, trying my best to keep the butterflies in my stomach under control. We come out of the chapel after lighting a candle for the both of us. There wasn't a lot of people inside, but everything echoed so much. It compelled me to stay as quiet as possible, only whispering if I need to. I felt really out of place in there. Carlos said a prayer, but I wasn't sure what to say or do, and I definitely couldn't follow the motions he made before doing it. Still, he seemed satisfied I actually tried. As we start the trek back to our dorm rooms, a question pops up in my mind. What does it even mean? Carlos looks at me confused. What? What does lighting the candle mean? Oh. He closes his eyes for a brief moment before speaking up again. It can mean many things. In this case, it represents light. The soul of the departed lives on, and they wait for us in God's embrace. And Jesus Christ himself came back. As Jesus Christ himself came back, we light a candle to remind us that death is not the end. He speaks in a soft tone, almost as if he's reminiscing. That's not what I expected. I looked up at the darkened sky. Then what were you expecting? I don't know. Guess I'm not quite sure. A brief moment of silence settles between us before Carlo speaks up again. Have you never gone to church? Not really, no. My dad's a Protestant, but he was never the church-goer type. My mind wanders to my sister. I guess he started going more in recent years, but I can't say I followed. As for my mom, well, the less I said about her, the better. He nods, listening intently. Never felt like I belonged there anyway. Carlos cocks his head, prompting me to continue. However, my words catch in my throat when I realize what I'm about to say. Shit. I can't blurt out I never cared for religion because they don't like gay people. I honestly don't know how he'd react. I honestly don't want to make it weird between us. I just never felt right going there alone, I mean. You saw me try to imitate your prayer, right? I have no idea what I'm doing. It is fine. I've not been the most faithful of believers myself. Oh? It's kind of hard to believe after seeing what I just saw. You don't strike me as the struggling to believe type. I was not always this way. When I was younger, not long after my grandmother passed, I was not sure what to believe. I was angry at God for taking her away. I did not want to pray to something so cruel. But when I decided to live with my aunt in Santa Lucia, he trails off and stays quiet for a moment. It was faith that helped me through it. It was faith that gave me the courage to go on. It is faith that gives me meaning and purpose in my life. It is not how much. It's not about how much you believe, how strong you believe. If you believe at all, it is good enough. That is what my grandmother used to tell me. It is a thought that comforts me. Smile back to him. I'm not quite sure what to reply with, but I don't think he's expecting one either. With that, the topic comes to a close. On the way back, I see him fidget with his pocket and pull out his phone. It's clearly not a newer model. It is getting late. We should hurry back. Yeah, I don't want to stay out too late. Huh? He stops in his tracks out of nowhere. What's wrong? I did not see the notification. I watch as he taps a few buttons on his phone. You have one new message. A voicemail? My blood instantly runs cold. Stand there horrified as I hear the sound of my own voice. Carlos! It's Ben, I just needed to... Shit! He stands there staring at the phone. I can explain. Please do. I spent the rest of the walk back trying to convince Carlos that I'm not some weird sex pervert. Never change, Carlos. Alright, I'm going to end it here for now. Whoops, actually. I'm not going to do that to myself ever again. I'm going to create multiple saves. I'm not going to be stupid. Anyways. Whew, that was... You know, I'm not going to lie, like, as much as I like Brian's route, because it's just, you know, it's crazy, and, like, it's a lot more, like, sex-filled crazy, and like a lot more like fraternity stuff kind of happens. It's kind of a vibe in that sense, but like I don't know, there's something kind of like nice about the more like quieter, down to earth feel of like the Carlos route so far. I mean, I'm biased. I like Carlos. I don't think that's a secret. Go back to my older videos. I like him a lot, and I honestly really like. I kind of like the little setup here, you know. I really like that little speech of his about, you know, believing and all that type of stuff. I'm not really religious anymore, by the way. I'm just gonna put my 2 cents out there. I'm not really religious anymore, but there is something kind of, in a way, like kind of nice about that speech he made. You know. Unfortunately, I guess, and I feel like there's a little bit of relatability there, as we're both. Well, I mean, I used to be a Catholic, but. Not anymore, but yeah, it's just kind of nice to kind of see something like that from him, and it's kind of nice not to really see that his uptightness is coming from purely from like a religious standpoint, but rather, you know, when we got to like dip into some of his past, it kind of gives you a bit of an insight of why he reacts this way. And I like the way he thinks about his own beliefs in a lot of ways. Especially since a lot of people who, like other people, whether they were, you know, evangelical or Catholic, you know, it was a lot more about like beating it over the head with like the believing aspect. Like you need to believe, and it's kind of nice when, you know, in this world that's so, you know, that makes no sense. Everything's falling apart. It feels like. I kind of like that, you know, Carlos just simply, you know, is just like, hey, you know, believing is enough, you know. I put my whole purpose in life here, and it's kind of, I don't know. There's just something you have about nice about that. It's kind of interesting, and I'm kind of curious where this will lead to, because so far it seems like he's straight, but we already know because he has his own root, it's a good chance that he's gay. But holding it back in, especially with the comment, the internalized homophobia comment from Brian, you know, you can tell already he's kind of like, gay stuff, and that's already pretty relatable too, you know. I struggled with a lot of internalized homophobia growing up, and it took me until about 20, I think, like 19, like it took me until like 19 to admit it to myself. So I totally get it, you know. When you're raised around people who hate you for, you know, being who you are, it's not a simple task as, you know, when you watch something like Dear Simon or something where it's all like, you know, happy, you know, rainbows and sunshines, you know, with like a little bit of conflict in the middle, you know, a little bit of stereotypical homophobia, and then it all clears up and you're living a happy life, you know. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen, you know. And sometimes you end up having to break off certain family members because they can't look past the fact that you are a different sexual orientation or even gender identity for that matter, you know. And the fact that, you know, and when you grow up with like people who, you know, threaten to throw you out of the house and leave you homeless, and when people, you know, when you do quote unquote, you know, queer things, and that leads to, you know, a lot of verbal and once in a blue moon sometimes physical hurt, it kind of sucks, you know. Internalized homophobia does that to you, you know, and I guess I kind of really related that to Carlos because I couldn't imagine what his family probably told him in the past. Not that I don't think, you know, maybe Carlos realized it and probably was just simply terrified, but unfortunately I know some, when you grow up in really terribly homophobic, especially religiously homophobic families, you know, it really turns into like a battlefield essentially. Like you have to like dodge every little hurtful word. You have to like dodge every situation that might imply that you might not be straight. And you know, and the internalized homophobia like kind of develops because it's like, well, because you're surrounded by so much hate for who you are, you know, you kind of hate yourself for it, and you just kind of go along with the flow and decide to move on and try to move on with your life in a very homophobic fashion to get people off your back, because any hint of homosexuality in you is going to be teared down by really shitty people, you know. And you know, I mean, fortunately, you know, I never really went through a phase of hating gay people, you know, outside of obviously when like, obviously outside of like 5th grade, like no one knew what gay really meant. They just knew it as an insult, so they're all like, you're gay type of stuff. But like outside of that, I never really had like a I hate gay people phase. But I definitely had a hard time accepting myself, and I saw that a lot of that in Carlos. I felt like, sorry if this is getting kind of personal. It's just I feel like I'm gonna get this is gonna probably hit a little too close to home. I feel like with Carlos in that regard, where Brian was more like fun times and like chill times. I feel like Carlos is gonna be a very relatable route, you know, and oh boy, and it's kind of crazy too because he's also the one that I like out of the 3. So, oh boy, this is gonna be a fun time. Oh boy. Anyways, next time we're gonna continue. I was hoping, I didn't realize how much they updated his route, so I was actually originally gonna do like a 3-hour episode of just going through, I think like September like 21st to October 1st. But it looks like there's definitely some extra days that were added while I was out, you know, playing Brian's route plus dealing with laptop issues and personal issues. So, which is good though, because I actually really am happy to get more Carlos content. So definitely not complaining there. So next time, we're going to continue Carlos's route on to September 15th and onwards. So until then, guys, see you guys later. Bye.